What's up, everyone? Welcome to the very first episode of Christmas Films Unwrapped. I'm not alone. I'm going to just put it out there. On screen with me is the one and only my brother from another mother, my Hispanic brethren, Alex Pawlowski. Alex, what's up?
Hey, Alex. How's it going? It's Alex and Alex.
It's Alex and Alex, and what better way to celebrate double A's than talking Christmas movies.
Yes.
This is the very first episode. We're not going to bore you with details as to why I want to do this. If you guys follow me on all my social networks, you know I'm a Christmas fiend. And I thought, the very first movie that we should do is something that came out after I was a year old. 1983's A Christmas Story. Alex, I'll tell you right now that when I first saw this movie, I was not very into it. As a kid, I was like, okay, cool. This is not my speed. Obviously, I was more into the Home Alone scene and what was coming out back then. So I put this movie on the back burner. As an adult, when TBS was playing it 24 hours, Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, many years ago, I fell in love with it. Something about it said, this is Christmas. And a little bit behind it, if you guys haven't watched it, I don't know who hasn't watched this freaking story, A Christmas Story. It does take place in the 1940s, and it revolves around a young boy named Ralphie Parker. Alex, I'm gonna open it up to you. Tell me a little bit what you know about Ralphie.
I was into this when I was a kid because Ralphie was a little kid, awkward, with glasses, and that was me. So I kind of felt that kind of in. I didn't obviously recognize a lot of the humor until I was older, but I kind of found my way into that. And my parents loved the movie, so like we would watch it on VHS. I know. Kids back in the day, we had video cassette recorders, VCRs they were, and you could record your favorite show on the TV. Also, you could go to it was called a video store. You didn't buy them, you rented them. You bring them home, you put them in your VCR, and you'd watch a movie. Yes. So that was fun. Ralphie, because he also had a little kid brother who was really annoying, and so did I. You know what I mean? He had the very doting, sweet wife, mother, and so did I.
We had, by the way, Randy Parker, his younger brother, who gets caught up in almost everything and anything. Mr. and Mrs. Parker, who played Ralphie's dad and Ralphie's mom. Yeah.
And then he my dad wasn't nearly as gruff as the dad in this thing, but
dad was
compared to the mother in the movie, that was kind of the relationship. So I just found all these connection points and kind of latched onto it. And as you said, because they used to run it 24 hours on Christmas Eve into Christmas on TNT, and then they switched it to TBS a few years ago. Okay. But that was a thing that it became tradition that we would watch it. We would just put on the TNT thing every Christmas Eve and just let it play. And to this day, on Christmas Eve at some point, I got to put it on wherever it is in the broadcast and just watch it from that point until it cycles through and gets back to that point again. I never start it at the beginning and watch it to the end. I start it 25 minutes in, an hour in, and then I go all the way through. So it's a lot of fun.
It's such a feel-good movie because it's not built upon like the traditional things that happen during Christmas, right? Like, yay, we're gonna go out and buy things and celebrate as a family. Sometimes there's some comedic, things added to it. Sometimes a breakup and people get back together, Hallmark style. This one specifically is all about Ralphie. It's narrated through and through, like if it was a true old school film in the 1940s. The man wants a Red Ryder carbine action 200 shot range model air rifle for Christmas. I think the entire movie is built around that specific thing that he wants. He gets continually told that you'll shoot your eye out if you get this rifle. From the beginning, the film kind of just sets you up for what's going to happen throughout the story. Obviously, the storytelling narrated for me gets me really into it, as opposed to just watching the on-screen personas, going back and forth, right? Yeah. As a young kid, what did you think about him wanting this BB gun? Did you ever feel like it was relatable to you that you wanted something so bad that it kept on telling you no?
Sure, but like, it was just more the misadventures surrounding everything. That was kind of the through line, but all the stuff that spoke to me was all that for sure. And then the friends, Schwartz,
oh my God, the friends.
And Flick, because every little boy who's 9 years old has like you got friends, you got people who you go to class with, all of them, and you could you be friendly with them on the playground, but like you have like one or two that like are your boys, like that you're just always with, and those kind of misadventures really stuck with me as well, because I had bad experiences early with BB guns, so that was not necessarily the thing, because I was like, went over to a friend's house and he was like, here's my brother's BB gun. I'm like, oh, what are we going to do with that? Oh, there's lots of stray cats in the neighborhood. We're going to go shoot them. And I was like, no, I don't want to. Can we just play Nintendo? And so we played Nintendo instead.
Sure.
I did not want to shoot stray cats. That was not something I was into.
That was great, though, by the way. The movie does follow, like you mentioned, Scott and Grover, the local bullies who torment Ralphie, his friends, his poor brother. Like, it's so relatable that even back then, like, you watch the movie now, it holds up. I don't think there's anything about it that you watch and you're like, oh, this movie just doesn't feel right in 2023. If anything, it's more prevalent now to me, as a dad, like when you look at it, trying to get what your kids want. You go out watching parades, you're hanging out as a family. One thing I never did was just, and this is probably because of the time that it was you just leave your kids, hey, meet me right here. We're going to go away. And in the scene where he goes to meet Santa, that's kind of crazy when you think about it, that's how things were back then.
Right. I mean, I guess Ralphie's 9. Like if I was like 12, like my parents might have been like, okay, here's the arcade in the mall.
Yes,
A mall, kids, is before online shopping, you would go to the mall and there'd be lots of different stores. So we'd go to the mall and like, okay, so you look after your brother, don't lose sight of him in the arcade. Here's some quarters. Your dad and I are going to go buy Christmas gifts, because it was boring. Like, I don't want to buy a gift for my aunt. Like, you do that. So, but they couldn't leave us at home. So yeah, we would like stay somewhere, like, or go. They put us in a movie. Yeah. Like, here's some kids movie. Go see that, and we'll meet you back here. I don't think they would have done that with me at like 9 years old, looking after my 5-year-old brother. I don't think that would have been a thing.
I know, exactly. Which is why I say I think that's the only thing that probably, I mean, I don't know if families just say, hey, go take care of your brother, which they probably do. And we'll meet you here, especially now with air tags and cell phones. It's probably just a lot easier to say, I know where you're at, and just come meet me here. We talked a lot about, the nuances with the family and stuff like that. I want to talk a little bit, and I have some notes here about the performances, like we've mentioned, of these cast members. A Christmas Story delivers, outstanding performances that contribute to the film's appeal, like the way everything's put together. Peter Bingsley as young Ralphie, like we mentioned before, he's like relatable. He's when he curses and gets his mouth washed out. We've all been through that, where we kind of say something we're not supposed to in front of our parents. Alex, have you by any chance said a naughty word in front of your parents that got you in trouble like that?
Dash word? No, I didn't do one of those, but I might have slipped an S dash word as opposed to an F dash word. But I just love the in slow motion. Oh.
Yeah.
Fine.
And the over, like, the minute he puts it, he says it, he puts it down, I want to say. Uh Again, the voiceover comes into play.
Yeah, yeah,
And you just, it
yeah,
makes the scene that so much better.
yeah,
His facial expressions, his body language.
yeah,
As a young child, man, he played this to the T. I felt like I
yeah,
wasn't even watching a movie. I felt like I was just
yeah,
watching him be him.
yeah, yeah, exactly. He's great, and I think a lot of it, the what I, because I obviously you latch onto the kids when you're a kid
Yes.
watching it, but as an adult, just the humanity of the parents, and just, like, obviously they're a little bit more cartoonish at times,
Right.
than that, but there's the moments of um I don't know, gentleness that the movie affords. They're
You're
not they're
right.
not they're not saccharine and spread and hit so hard, but the moment that I always keep coming back to when I think about the movie is after Ralphie beats the crap out of the bully. Which, how
Yes.
cathartic is that for a little kid,
Yeah.
watching a little kid, take out its tormentor? But um, where later you hear the little brother crying under the sink, and the mom comes over, like, "What's wrong?" "Daddy's gonna kill Ralphie." And the way she's like, "No, I promise, your daddy is not going to kill Ralphie." "Yes, he is too." But just the way she handles it, he wants some milk, and she leaves him in there. Um, but that, and then obviously the end where the dad gets to be the hero,
Yeah.
and it does it in such a sweet way too. Like, "Hey, what's that over there behind the desk? Looks
I
like Santa
know.
might have hid something back there." He's so gruff and angry and screams all the time and everything. But the thing is, that, like, that's a thing he's trying to get away from, because obviously at that point in history, his father was probably like that to him. And
Yeah.
his grandfather was like that to his father.
Yeah.
And so there's these things, like, you trying to get away from it, but he really does love his boy.
He really
And he
does. Yeah.
and you get to see that in that moment. And it's played so beautifully by Darren McGavin.
Yes.
But he and Melinda Dillon are so perfect in their roles, that it's quite lovely.
That's what I say. It's like when we talk about the cinematography right now, and it just feels like you're not watching a film. It feels like you're watching like a reality show,
Yep.
because that family was so well put together in the sense of like the casting of how everyone was just put together.
Right.
You get the scenes when they get the flat tire, and he comes out to
Yep.
help them. That's
Yep. Yeah.
Ralphie gets in trouble there.
Yep.
The dad kind of like hears him, but
Right.
kind of like, all right. And he finally gets into the car and tells the mom. She's like, oh my
Yeah.
god. you
Yeah.
know those are things that we went through as a kid, where we did something and either mother or dad would tell each other what you just did, and you're like
Yep.
pooping your pants trying to figure
Yeah.
out what you're gonna do
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
The way, like, the old school car, I was watching this, the tires are like bare bald tires, like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking to myself, my god, is that how they live? The kids, no seatbelts in the back, they're just like running
Yeah.
free in the
Oh,
back.
sure. Yeah.
Oh my
Bed
god.
sheets. 100%.
1940s, baby.
Yeah, I again, some of the writing, because it's based on the book by Gene Shepard, and he's
Yes.
the one who narrates it. They got that guy to actually do the voice for the narrator, which is perfect, because it's
Yeah.
supposed to be his story.
It's just story.
But
Yeah.
so much of the writing for the narration is so smart and put together so well. The turns of phrases, like the idea of my old man's spare tires were only tires in the academic sense.
Yes.
They were round and they had once been made of rubber, is such a wonderful way to describe the tire that you see him pull out, because that is
Yes.
what you see him pull out of the car. It's great.
Each character has something going on. Ralphie's trying to get his he's doing his life as a kid. He's trying to get his toy, his BB gun. He gets bullied, he gets beat up, he's in school, he has to deal with his teacher, the witch. The mother has to deal with keeping the home together. She's making Thanksgiving dinner, which obviously we know what happens in the film. If you guys haven't watched, a spoiler. Dogs come in and destroy destroy
the Bumpus Hounds, obviously.
Yes. The dad with having to keep the dad duty going, which is working.
Right.
The furnace breaks. He's downstairs trying to get the furnace to work. We've all had our dad go try to fix something, and a lot of colorful words get spewed out. No matter what religion, race, whatever you are, dads have always had colorful language.
Yes. Yep. That's true. Yeah.
And then you have the overall story arc with dad, who's having his own story within the story with the lamp. We can't forget the lamp. That's the most iconic thing about this film.
It is funny, like that is what everyone has latched onto. It's the most iconic image. It is the thing everyone associates with it. It doesn't appear until 2/3 the way through the movie.
Correct.
And it's gone by the 3/4 mark.
Yes.
It's there, and it's electric sex glowing in the living room window.
That's it.
And then it's gone, and the rest of the movie doesn't mention it for the rest of the time.
No.
So what I love about it is that this is a thing that everyone, the lamp movie. People who've seen it once or twice will always remember the leg lamp. But again, it is so funny when you look at the runtime of the film and how much time that takes up, how much it exists for in the film. It's not long at all. It's like something like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Gone.
The fact that he gets, we're talking about when he gets the shipment in. He's so excited. He's happy. Like I mentioned, each character has something going on, and the dad he gets these 12 minutes just to himself. And it's just great to see it happen. Fragile. It must be, what is he? It must be Italian? Is that what he said?
It must be Italian.
Yeah.
I think that's
French.
Fragile, honey.
Yeah. That's funny. Fragile. Yeah. Oh my God. And he's like, nonetheless, opens it up. The music kind of changes over into the sexy tone. He's feeling the leg. Ralphie's trying to touch it. The mom's slapping his hand away.
Yeah, that's great.
He lights it up. First of all, he has over 500 things plugged into one outlet. How 1940s of them?
It's because they only had like 2 in each room because those houses were built before electricity was the norm.
Yes.
You only had to plug in like 2 things when when the house was built. Now you got all these things you got to plug in. Yeah, no, it's bad.
He plugs it in, sparks go flying. He puts on his jacket, he runs outside. He's like, come on, honey, come on. This is glorious, beautiful. He crosses the street. Neighbors are passing by. They're staring at this picture. I wish you could
see what it looks like from out here.
The wife, she's covering up. She doesn't know what's happening. No. She takes the kids and hides. That is such a great moment. The way he also turns around and he's like, you hated it from the start when it finally breaks.
Yeah.
When the lamp breaks. And
you were jealous. Jealous because I won.
And she's
jealous. Jealous of what? That is the most ugly lamp I have ever seen in my life.
She is so good. Her mannerisms, her facial expressions, she's smirking while trying to be serious at the same time, which is so relatable. So relatable.
Says, where's the glue?
Yeah, where's the glue? Yeah.
Out of glue. Then you used up all the glue on purpose.
Man, it's so good. Now we're jumping around, which is okay because this is the sense of this show. I don't want it to feel like everyone else. I want to have fun with it. I just want to open up everybody's minds and everyone to have a good time and kind of like jump around with us. Another sub story is the whole Oval team scenes with Ralphie. He has the decoder. He gets the decoder. He's in the bathroom. His brother's knocking at the door trying to get in. He's like, just hold on 1 second. And he's decoding this message. One bathroom
in the house for sure.
One bathroom, yes. He's decoding this message, and all it was an ad. Mm-hmm. How disappointing, Alex.
This is the other thing about it is that this is a little through line that does not need to be in this particular movie. It has nothing to do with Christmas. It's not like the message that was like Merry Christmas, and be sure to no, it was just be sure to drink your Ovaltine. That's all.
That's it.
But also I honestly feel like this may have been my first foray into being anti-consumerism as I am now.
Yes.
Just the idea of like how disappointing that's got to be for Ralphie to like wait this whole time to get the decoder ring and listen to it, write down the whole code, and then decode it because he thinks it's going to be a message from Little Orphan Annie. Like, this is going to be an amazing thing, and all it is, in his words, a crummy commercial.
That's it. Is yeah.
And basically, like once the blinders get taken off, you realize everything in this life is just a crummy commercial.
That's it.
Everything is a crummy commercial for something else. That's what
it's incredible that I too thought the same thing. I think it was my very first film that I kind of understood when I watched it. When I was a kid, even though I wasn't really paying much attention to it, was just that the drink more Ovaltine. I remember, there's chocolate milk. Like I drink Nestle. In the old quick freaking steel tops that you would open with the spoon. I was like, I don't know what the hell Ovaltine is. Let's jump back to that scene at the mall we were talking about. He goes up, he's brave enough to go up this huge ladder, not ladder, but like staircase. Everyone's online for it to meet Santa. Yeah. Yeah. Santa looks like crap. The elves look like crap. I mean, how 1940s does that look right there? Again, we're talking about cinematography and everything around it. It looked and felt scary. You get that first person point of view through Ralphie's eyes. He's stunned. He doesn't know what to say to him. Mm-hmm. Again, something that we're all relatable to when we all have seen Santa and have been scared of the jolly old man.
Sure.
Again, he's asking for this gun. And he's just holding on to his dear life before he gets thrown down the slide. He's like, wait, I haven't told you what I want, Mm-hmm. And he tells him he wants this BB gun again. You'll poke your eye out.
Yeah, shoot your eye out, kid. It's so great.
And kicks him. Kicks him down the slide.
But I love that it's not even a kick. It's just he puts his toe here and then just lightly presses. And he just...
I just love the aesthetic. The elf was menacing and scary, and the head movements that they're making with their stupid little bell hat is just I want to talk about this, the aesthetic of it. Now, the movie was filmed, a lot of it was filmed, I believe, in Canada, to popular belief. So they got probably like real snow. We didn't have to make it like most movies, or put down blankets that look like snow, because I've also seen that people walking around and it's actually a blanket. It feels like Christmas. The snow, the big puffy jackets, the snowball fights, everything just feels like Christmas. Now, I got this question for you, and I'll probably be asking other people as the show progresses. What is your feeling of Christmas? I know you watched this movie, so you kind of now, to you as a kid, you're like, oh, that's what Christmas is supposed to feel like. I didn't grow up in the States. I came here at the age of 8. I lived in New Jersey. So for me, Christmas in Puerto Rico was totally different than Christmas in the States. When I got that first feel of snow, that cold breeze, that's when I started realizing, oh, okay, maybe it is like this, like the movies say.
Right.
What about you? What say you? Like, did you relate to Christmas, the aesthetic of Christmas through this movie, or did you kind of just like, felt your own?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was definitely like the aesthetic of Christmas, because I had to go up in the Pacific Northwest. We didn't often have a white Christmas, but we had a lot of white late Januaries and early Februaries. So like the idea of transposing that onto this thing. But we grew up, there were literally Christmas trees everywhere growing out of the ground. Yeah. That's what those were. So the idea that we would have one in the house was interesting. I was actually, turns out, realized later, too late, that I was allergic to the pollen.
Oh no!
That is released by a deciduous by a Douglas fir inside the home, and so I would
Yeah.
be horribly sick and sneezy every Christmas, and they were like, "What's wrong with it?" Oh no, he's not sick. He's allergic to the pollen, so you can't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, because we would literally.
How are you now, though? By the way, are you for your own kids? Is it a real Christmas tree, or are you going with the
No, we got the
little
plastic.
plastic?
We got the plastic. But we would literally walk across the street into a forest.
Wow.
We'd pick a Christmas tree, and my dad would cut
You're
it.
serious?
I swear to God. And
Wow.
then the thing is, I missed that, but I recognized, like, now looking back, the last day I was healthy during Christmas time was the day I woke up and we walked across the street to get the Christmas day, because then I would wake up the next morning and be like, I don't feel good.
Oh,
And like,
God.
you know, so, but also like, we had these really awesome vaulted ceilings. So we
Sure.
would have like 14-foot Christmas tree, huge thing in the house. And it was literally, we would cart it across the street.
I love that.
And bring it in and stand it up and everything. And then we have this huge ladder and we had ornaments everywhere. Like that feels like Christmas to me. We also,
Right. Yes.
because we also this is a house that actually had been designed and built by my grandfather, by my mother's father.
Very
So
cool.
he put in this amazing wraparound fireplace, like real wood burning fireplace. We would always have a real wood burning fire all
That's
winter
so
long.
cool.
It, like there's like the, I don't know if people have like people like a comfort food or a comfort
Sure.
TV show. My comfort memory is as a child coming to the top of the stairs on Christmas morning, and there's the Christmas tree all lit up, and there's the fire burning, and there's cinnamon roll smell coming from the kitchen.
Oh,
My mom would make them from scratch. And then there's the presents everywhere. And my dad had this amazing surround sound stereo system.
yeah.
And it would always be playing Christmas music. And just that moment of like, this is as good as it gets. And so when Ralphie and Randy come down the stairs and their thing is all lit up, and the reaction they have, I have that visceral response of remembering that moment. So yeah, I love Christmas.
That's really interesting and very cool to know, because that is something that I want this show to kind of bring out of people. And when they listen to it, I want them to resonate with that.
Yeah.
Like their stories of, my God, I remember this and that. No matter where you lived or how you lived, your
Right.
story and how you felt and how your family celebrated
Right.
this event is special. It's special for
Yeah.
you, and it's special for the people around you. I, for one, I remember the same thing. I grew up in an apartment, so my dad would be cooking breakfast, and the tree would be lit up and whatnot. And it's just, we're looking at the tree in A Christmas Story, and it's full of the old school tinsel, like those really messy single ones that you would just throw up on the tree, and ornaments everywhere. I mean, that's how I grew up, Later on, my mom got more into like I want a silver tree. Like she started getting like all crazy with it, like, themed tree. But I, for one, wasn't one that grew up with real trees. I have always had the fake plastic trees, which is, to me, I didn't care. Your dad would bring it out Thanksgiving night, and everyone would start putting it together. Latinos are crazy. They want to celebrate Christmas the minute October 31st is over. We put up all the ornaments, we put everything in the house. Again, it's such
because
a
Jesus
great vibe.
doesn't have a birthday day. He has a birthday 2 months.
He has 2 months, 2 full months of just hanging out and partying. So for me, it was that. Now, it wasn't until I was older that, and I had my 2 daughters, that I finally felt like, you know what, I want to do something different. And we would go as a family and cut down a tree. We'd go to a tree farm, and, we would pay. And what they would do is they take the money and plant more trees. So as you cut down trees and you paid for this tree and you left, so then that became a thing, and we would bake cookies while we were putting the tree up and stuff like that. And they're 21 and 23 now, whatever, 20 and 23. So I'm hoping that is within them, so they can carry that into the future. And those are the things. This is why I love this damn freaking holiday. This is why I love these 3 months from October, November, December, just because you really, really feel that. you mentioned, stepping going down the staircase. Ralphie with his bunny suit that his aunt sent them. He hates it
Hmm.
because she keeps on sending him things. She forgets that he's a boy.
Yeah.
you know, I think we've all had that moment where we've all worn some type of pajamas that we just, or
Yeah.
some type of outfit that got bought by us by an aunt or uncle
Yes.
that we didn't like. I thought that was hilarious. Again, another good tale of how relatable this movie really is. Um, I haven't found anything negative about it, Alex. Have you?
Mm. I mean, listen, it's of a different era, but
Correct. Right.
some of the jokes made at the expense of the Chinese waitstaff probably
How can
couldn't
I
be made
forget
today.
that?
But
Yes.
that didn't mean I didn't laugh at him 35 years ago. You know what I mean? Now
How
it's like
did I block that out?
I bet just a small quibble. But everything else about the movie, no, it's great.
You're
just a
right.
few
When they go
jokes
to
made at
the
the expense of the Chinese waitstaff. But other
they
than
go to
that,
the Chinese restaurant, they're singing Christmas carols around the family. They bring them the duck that still has the head on it, and the kids
yeah,
are petrified.
it's smiling
Yeah,
at me.
it's
Oh,
smiling at me.
okay.
Okay,
Thunk.
Wank. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's so good the way he just cuts it right off, and
yeah,
he makes them sing the song. He makes the staff sing the song all over again. By him,
yeah.
I mean the manager of the Chinese
Yes.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Overall, man, from the parade, the way it starts, to meeting Santa, to getting in trouble, to getting into fights, the family dinner that gets ruined, um, the kid, the younger brother thinking that he's a pig when he's eating the mashed potatoes and
Yeah.
everything. There's so much wholesome stuff happening within that movie, that now as that I'm older, I really, really appreciate. I really like what they did with this film. Obviously, we see Ralphie, who was again uh, Peter Billingsley. He played one of the elves in Elf. It was great to see him back in 2003 on television like that. It's just he's iconic. He'll always be, and he still looks the same as he did as a kid, which is
He does.
which is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
know if you caught the sequel that they released last year.
I try not to,
Yeah, please
but
don't. Please don't.
I
It's not, it doesn't work at all.
I'm
Because
glad you brought that up because no,
yeah, I mean, Melinda Dillon retired from acting. Like, she doesn't do acting anymore. And so they were like, and Darren McGavin is dead. So they did the sequel with, it's like set in the 70s.
yeah.
And it's Ralphie all grown up going back home, and he's there for his dad's funeral and for Christmas.
Oh boy,
So they write the dad out because the actor's dead, but they recast the mom. And Julie Haggerty is great in everything except for this, because she's not Melinda Dillon. She's never going to be Melinda Dillon. It's so weird to recast her. They literally brought back the actor who played Scott Farkus. He's a
yes,
cop now, obviously, in
yes,
town.
that's right. Yes,
They brought back, I believe, the same actor who played Randy, although he does not look like at all like you would expect that kid to look when he grew up. But like, he's got one small scene. They brought back the same actors who played his friends, Flick and
wow.
Schwartz. Those same guys are there. But it doesn't have any of that warm feeling at all.
That
And
sucks.
it's just too bad. It's a
Yeah.
movie that probably not probably never should have been made. Like, it's
Sometimes they
unfortunate.
they prey on nostalgia just a little too much, and things just kind of don't work out.
Yeah.
I do want to say this. This has been an incredible first episode. Like I mentioned before, from beginning to end, I think the movie holds up pretty well. I believe the dynamic of the family was great. The inner happenings between the kids and their own lives, the mother, the father, everything that was happening around them. Um, it feels wholesome. It feels good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I will be watching this movie every year
Oh yeah.
around this time, especially when it comes on
Mhm.
Christmas Eve for 24 hours, on and on and on and on. Before we get out of here, Alex, how many candy canes? How many candy canes? We're doing 0 to 5 candy canes. This is our rating system, friends.
Mhm.
How many candy canes do you give A Christmas
Uh,
Story?
um, I gotta go with the full five. Six in the Tokyo
Nice.
Dome, but five,
That's okay.
five, five candy canes. Six in the Tokyo Dome. That is a joke for anybody who follows me from the wrestling.
I love it.
Um, but yeah, I gotta go with the full five on this one. I toyed with just because nothing's a full five candy canes. This one maybe 4 3/4. No, it's a five. It's a full five. It's full five candy canes. And yeah, I don't know exactly what I would do with it differently. There's so many moments in here that again, like obviously, I haven't watched it since last Christmas, and
Mm,
if you asked me to quote most of the movie, I probably could. You know what I mean? Like it's just so much
yeah.
stuff that has stuck with me over the years. It's something that I really look forward to bonding with my daughter over when 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 she gets a little older.
Oh yeah.
That kind of a thing. It's a real it is as you say, it's so danged wholesome. It's beautiful.
I love that. I too will give it 5 delicious candy canes.
Mhm.
Due to the fact that you are 100% correct. It could probably be 6 in the Tokyo Dome. But, we're here in America, so we're gonna give it
Mhm.
5. It's humorous. I wrote here, it's humorous, nostalgic. It continues to capture the hearts of a lot of audiences today.
Yeah.
Like you just mentioned, you're watching it with your children, so they're now building a love for that film as well, 'cause they'll be able to, grab onto that and think, "I used to watch this with dad and mom. Like,
Right.
this is great for me." It has a memorable plot, great performances, great cinematography, like I mentioned before,
Yeah.
a great movie that stands the test of time, a holiday classic that reminds us of truly the magic of Christmas and the importance of family, how crazy our own families could be, a must watch for absolutely every generation. 1983's A Christmas Story, directed by Bob Clark. I can't
Yeah.
say enough.
Yeah.
Alex, let everybody know where they can find you, Sa, you
Uh,
jolly, beautiful man.
no, thank you. You can find me on the Twitter X at Alex Sour Graps. Over there, usually talking about movies and or professional wrestling because that is how I have chosen to make my living.
I love that. That's why wouldn't you? It's 2020
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to date it, so I'll put 2020 something. So years from
Right.
now, they'll be like, these
Yeah.
two knuckleheads,
Well, eventually it's going to be 2030 something. People
Yeah.
will be watching this 10, 15 years from now.
We'll still look as handsome. Ladies and gentlemen, like I
Yeah,
mentioned before,
absolutely.
um, Christmas Films Unwrapped. It's a love letter to the Christmas genres of movies that I love so much. Um, It's two people just talking, reminiscing about these films, hoping that they can kickstart something in your head, and you guys can join the conversation and let us know how you feel. You can follow me on the Twitter X as well at Alexis Cardoza with the underscore in the front. You can follow me on the Instagrams, as the kids like to call it, and threads, Alexis Cardoza. And I can't wait to bring you the next episode, guys, of Christmas Films Unwrapped. Alex, thank you so much for being the
Thank
very,
you.
very first um,
Honored.
person, guest, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
here on the show. And I hope to have you back to
Oh,
explore
please.
even more
Yes, I can't wait.
Christmas classics. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Until then, stay jolly. I don't know. I got to figure out a thing for this.
Stay
Peace out,
jolly's really
peeps.
good. Stay
Stay
jolly's
jolly.
good.
Ho, ho,
Ho
ho.
ho ho!